Welcome to Politics by Faith. This is where we take the news of the day and we bring it to the Bible so that we can walk away with some peace and perspective. There's new headlines every day, but Ecclesiastes says there's nothing new under the sun. So thanks for being here for the true story. The story of the day is Mamdani, after the terrorist attack in his city that could have killed many people, instead of hosting the police officers who ran to danger and apprehended the ISIS-inspired terrorists, he's hosting a Muslim who has called for the end of Western civilization inside of the mayor's Gracie mansion. Quick programming note before we continue on. You hear my children yelling in the background, and this is not a normal background of this shot here because we happen to be on vacation at the moment. We just started recording these on the youtube.com/@politicsbyfaith. I was corrected. youtube.com/ and then the @ sign. Politics by Faith. For some reason, that @ needs to be there. 327 subscribers. Here we go. Now we're talking. Got to get to 1,000 because that's when the bosses are impressed. So if you can help me make my bosses impress, and then they'll start to think that this podcast can be something on video as well, and we'll make it grow and we'll spread the word. That's the plan. But we got to get to 1,000. We're at 327. youtube.com/@politicsbyfaith. So we're in Utah right now. Our goal is to show our young kids as much of America as we can. This amazing country that God blessed us with. So we're going to a bunch of, yeah, Johnny?
Can we go play baseball?
Oh, can I finish this real quick? 20 minutes and I'll be out.
Okay.
We'll play, okay?
Yeah.
I love you, bud. Johnny wants to play baseball. He's the best. Where was I? So we're in Arches National Park. Woke up early this morning, went to Delicate Arch. Delicate Arch is the picture on the Utah license plate. And my wife said, this is like, I don't know, fourth day here or something like that. And yesterday my wife said, what could all the hype be about Delicate Arch? How could this arch be any different or like that much better than any other arch we've ever seen? We've seen landscape arch, sand dune arch, double O arch. We've seen a million arches. Why is this the arch? So this morning we woke up early because we wanted to see the sunrise at it. So we hiked 3.5 miles at 6 a.m. and it was awesome. Totally worth the hype. So amazing. Absolutely deserves the place on the Utah license plate. And God is awesome. So they're running around here. The kids are. And Johnny wants to go through the baseball round, which I will in 20 minutes. But first, here's what happened. Yesterday, we shared the story of 2 ISIS-inspired terrorists throwing bombs into a crowd of people at an anti-Islam rally in New York City. And we pointed out how the media just contorted themselves in every possible shape to not call it a bomb. They called it a smoke-causing suspicious device, for instance. So now we are a day later. Here we are a day later, and this is what CNN was able to cobble together. This is a real thing they did. This is a tweet. 2 Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York City Saturday morning for what could have been a normal day, enjoying the city during abnormally warm weather. But in less than an hour, their lives would drastically change as the pair would be arrested for throwing homemade bombs. They said the word bombs during an anti-Muslim protest outside of Mayor Zohran Mamdani's house. Here's what we know so far. Wow. How can that be real? Someone on Twitter said, Muslim aviation enthusiasts boarded flights Tuesday morning for what could have been normal day trips to New York City, Virginia, New York, and the abnormally warm September weather. But in less than a few hours, their lives would drastically change as their planes just crashed into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and the ground in rural Pennsylvania. Here's what we know so far. Amazing. So what's the deal here? Here's why the lefties wrote this. The terrorists are not the main actors here. They're acted upon by life. By white supremacy. Right? Everything's in the passive, right? Their lives would be drastically changed. Zero agency. Classic leftist move. Then, of course, they refused. They did call it a bomb, but they refused to call them Muslim or talk about where their parents are from. Instead, they're Pennsylvania teenagers. Teenagers also makes them seem like little innocent, misguided victims. They're 18 and 19, also known as adults. And then maybe my favorite line is what otherwise could have been a normal day. Yeah, it could have been if you didn't make a bomb and light it on fire and throw it into a crowd of people. You're right. It could have been a normal day. NYPD came out later and said that one of the terrorists requested paper, and he wrote, "I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State. I, in your rage, do kufar." Kufar is an Arabic term that refers to you and me, non-Muslims. And we're told white supremacy is the problem. All right, so what's broken here? I want to do a side-by-side. After these two precious young Muslim men threw a bomb into a crowd of people, one officer in particular, many officers, but one in particular, was involved immediately. And there's a baller picture of him jumping over the metal barrier fence to go and capture the terrorist. From what I could see in the short video, it looks like the guy dropped the bomb and then ran. And now he's on the other side of the fence as all the cops. So a lot of other cops are trying to figure out what to do. How do I get to him? Oh, he's on the other side of the fence. This guy just leaps over the fence in a single bound. Chief Aaron Edwards is his name. He was inspired to join the NYPD after he was in college during 9/11. And he said, "I saw what happened and with people running in, with our first responders running into the towers." He said, "And I took one of the first tests for the academy. I saw it, I felt it. When everyone was running out of the Twin Towers, we had our police officers and other first responders running in. I thought that was selfless heroism. It just drew me into the profession. And since I started, I fell in love with policing." That is absolutely the best of the best attitude, what we need more of in our country. And the only way to get more of it is to celebrate it. Meanwhile, Zohran Mamdani had a guest over for dinner at the mayor's mansion. It's Ramadan, don't you know? All I hear about is how it's Ramadan. And here's what the mayor wrote. He said, "For Mahmoud Khalil, this past year has been marked by profound hardship and by profound courage. A year ago, Mahmoud was walking home through our city after sharing an iftar with his wife, Noor, when he was detained by, again, it was just a normal day. He was just being with his wife, he was just having a nice time. And was sure, because he's the victim here, to highlight the Muslimness of Mahmoud here. Not the Muslimness of the bomb-throwing terrorist, but the Muslimness of just an innocent man sharing an iftar with his wife. That's the meal that breaks the Ramadan fast. He was detained by federal agents, flown to Louisiana, then held in an ICE facility for months. In that time, he was forced to miss the birth of his first child. All of this for exercising his First Amendment rights in protesting the ongoing genocide in Palestine. And yet, even in the face of that cruelty, there's been beauty. New Yorkers raising their voices in solidarity. A city refusing to look away. Mahmoud won his freedom, and a father was finally reunited with his child. Last night, as we marked the 1-year anniversary of his detention, Rama and I, his wife, were honored to welcome Mahmoud, Noor, and their son, Deen, D-E-E-N, to Gracie Mansion to break our fast together. Mahmoud is a New Yorker, and he belongs in New York City." Okay. Who's this Mahmoud guy? Not a police officer, for sure. This is the guy who is the leader of a raging anti-Semitic, pro-Palestinian Marxist group at Columbia University in New York City. You may remember a picture of him. If you saw a picture, you'd probably ring a bell. He's the leader of a group called Columbia University Apartheid Divest. These are all just Marxists. I'm reading from their website. They say this group is a coalition of student organizations that sees Palestine as the vanguard for our collective liberation. We are a continuation of the Vietnam anti-war movement and the movement to divest from apartheid South Africa. We support freedom and justice for the Palestinian people and for all people. We know that except the ones we're throwing bombs at, we know that true collective safety will arise when everyone has access to clean air, clean water, right? So we're throwing in environmentalist stuff here. Food, housing, education, healthcare, freedom of movement, and dignity. Right? So they'll just throw it all in. They'll riot for anything that's against the West. This is one post in particular. Let me pull it up here. One post in particular that this Columbia University group put up, run by this guy. "We are Westerners fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization." Super. "We stand in full solidarity with every movement for liberation in the global South." Our intifada is an international one. We're fighting for nothing less than liberation for all people. As the fascism ingrained in the American consciousness becomes even more explicit and irrefutable, we seek community and instruction from militants in the global South who have been on the front lines in the fight against tyranny and domination which undergird the imperialist world order. Yikes. The leader of that group is enjoying a nice meal at the mayor of New York City's mansion. Why is this person here? Mahmoud was born in a refugee camp to Palestinian parents in Syria. He's an Algerian citizen, and he came to America on a green card. After his activism became apparent to the Trump administration, they claimed that he lied on his green card application, which of course you would have to do. So an immigration judge ruled that he's deportable and ordered him removed. But then all the federal courts got involved and all the activist lawyers, and they blocked his deportation. A pancake? Yeah, I'll take a pancake.
What?
I'll take a pancake. It's
It's
vacation.
not-
5 more minutes.
Grace, can I have a pancake?
5. You already had a pancake. Good. Just to be clear, it's 2:02 in the afternoon when I'm recording this, and they're asking for pancakes. So that would be, I'm going to put that in the it's vacation category. Can we have a pancake at 2:02 as we're about to go get pizza for dinner? Sure. Why not, kids? Where was I? So all these judges said that this guy must stay in America until all of his appeals are done. And it's going to take forever, right? This is crazy. He's not a citizen. Kick him out. He's ultimately going to be deported, but he's a celebrity on the left and a bit of a martyr until that day finally comes. And he gets special dinners at Gracie Mansion. The hero cop does not. All right, let's get to the Bible so I can go have a pancake. A Bible verse I think of often is Isaiah 5:20. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. And I just thought of this, of course, because of the juxtaposition between the hero cop and then this Mahmoud guy, and which one's being honored by the mayor. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. It's a classic, but rarely does the verse just before it get any attention. And that's what I want to do here. First, one more point on this one. Woe to those who call, I just want to make sure we drive this home. Woe to those who call evil people and evil things good. Right? And then the flip side, those who call good things and good people evil. These people have it backwards because they're so twisted and they're so demented in their soul that it's entirely backwards. And woe means that there is divine judgment coming. It is a warning against sin and the impending doom that is coming your way. Woe to you. But check out the verse before. Woe to those who draw iniquity with cords of falsehood, who draw sin as with cart ropes, who say, let him be quick, let him speed his work, that we may see it. Let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw near, and let it come, that we may know it. All right, we got to break this one down. This is such a good verse. I'm actually going to, that's the ESV, and I always quote ESV first. Let me do the NIV. It's a little bit more clear. Woe to those who draw sin along with cords of deceit, and wickedness as with cart ropes. Cart, C-A-R-T, cart ropes. To those who say, let God hurry. Let him hasten his work, so that we may see it. The plan of the Holy One of Israel, let it approach, let it come into view, so that we may know it. All right. So back in the day, they had carts, right, which were loaded with whatever you were carrying, and the cart was hitched to an animal that would pull the cart. The wicked people here are the animals, the mules, donkeys, oxen, whatever it is that's pulling the cart that's loaded with sin. And they're pulling this cart of sin without any shame. That's the extra key here. You're pulling their sin, parading it really, and they're doing it with no shame. And that's verse 19. To those who say, let God hurry, let him hasten his work so that we may see it. This is mockery. This is mockery. Those who are pulling their cart of sin, they're saying to God, God, if you don't like this, you say you don't like this. Oh, okay, I'm doing it anyway. You say you don't like it. Let's see you do something about it. Imagine the wicked shaking their fist at God, knowing that they're sinning and doing it. It's not even shaking their fist. I think it's spitting at God. It's spitting at God's direction. I know I'm sinning. I'm doing it anyway. What are you going to do about it? They're proud of their sin. They're parading it around. And they're saying, oh, you say, woe to me. You say you're going to give judgment to me for this. Prove it. Let's go. Hurry up. Come on. Let's see what you can do, God. Open mockers. And there are open mockers of God around us, and in many cases, leading us and representing us. And woe to those. Ready? Whichever one you don't want. I'll take the one with the bite in it. That way you get an extra bite. Who took the bite?
It hasn't had a bite.
Oh, okay. It looks like a bite. That looks like a bite. They're so good. These pancakes are the best pancakes. They're, what's her name? Chip and Joanna Gaines's. Their recipe, cookbook a couple years ago. It's called the world's fluffiest pancakes. And the key is, see, here's the secret. You got to use Kerrygold butter. Do not make these pancakes with Land O'Lakes or any of that garbage. You have to splurge. You have to make these with Kerrygold butter. They're basically it's just butter. It's just a ton of butter. You can use the buttermilk like it calls for. You don't need to use the buttermilk. That doesn't make the biggest difference. It's the butter. It's all about the Kerrygold butter. I make these. We make them all the time. And every trip I go on with people, I make them. And they're like our famous pancakes. They're Chip and Joanna Gaines's. They're the best. They're so unbelievably good. I'm going to have it at 2:07. Okay, I got to go. Let's wrap up with the grand finale here so I can eat this pancake because they're really good. They're amazing warm and they drop off pretty quick. It is up to us to lift up the righteous, to highlight the good, to call the sweet, sweet, and the delicious, delicious, and to call the bitter, bitter, and to trust God with his timeline to bring the woe. YouTube, the woe to those who deserve it. Remember those who, the wicked say, oh, let God hurry. We can trust God's timing. YouTube.com/@politicsbyfaith. You can watch the video of this podcast, and you can obviously download anywhere you listen to podcasts. YouTube.com/@politicsbyfaith. If you can give us a follow, a subscribe, we got to get to 1,000 so we can show the bosses that people like this. So YouTube.com/@politicsbyfaith would be great. I got to go eat this pancake and then go play baseball with Johnny. Spread the word.